All right, so this currently inked is the last one that I have in my Hobonichi A6 notebook, and then I've moved over to the B6 here. But firstly, the Ranga Zayante Z2. This was a new to me pen. I basically got it in November, and I purchased this from Peyton Street Pens, and I have a fine architect nib on it, and I inked it with Diamine Red Meadow, and this was the ink that I actually used in my 5-year journal, and I loved this combination. This architect nib is so smooth, and it gives you such great line variation, and Diamine Red Meadow is just a great ink anyway. Red Dragon. Why did I say Red Meadow? It's Red Dragon. Red Dragon. How come nobody corrected me on my currently inked video from last month? But it's Red Dragon, not Red Meadow, Red Dragon. And the name itself isn't very Christmassy, but it was a very good Christmas color, and I loved using it in my 5-year journal. The next pen I hadn't used in quite a few months because I had this sent off to Mark Bacchus of the Nib Grinder. I was having issues with the nib on the TWSBI Diamond 580, so I sent it off to be made into a stub nib, and I love the stub nib, but the combination of the Troublemaker Kelp Tea with the stub nib, it felt a little dry, and the ink itself shades beautifully, but because of the dryness, it was difficult to read at some times, so not my favorite combination. Probably need to put a wetter ink into that. Then I had Laban, my Laban 325 Cambridge, and it originally had a broad nib, but I had it ground down, again by Mark Bacchus of the Nib Grinder, into, I believe it's a medium cursive smooth italic, and I loved this. The flow of the pen was fantastic, even with the shimmer ink, which is Ferris Wheel Press Glimmering Greige. The two worked really, really well together, and I love the cursive smooth italic. It's a little bit larger than the fine stub that came with the TWSBI Diamond 580, but it's nice to have a little bit of variation in the sizes of stubs. It's still small enough for my writing, so not too overpowering. And then I had the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Christmas Pudding. I felt like 4 of these pens, these first 4, were kind of new to me because I hadn't really used the Laban 325 yet. And then the TWSBI Diamond 580 was new with the fine stub. And then Sailor Pro Gear Slim and Christmas Pudding. This was a medium nib. I've had the medium fine before in my Sailor Pro Gear Dragon Palace, and I really prefer the medium over that. And when I combined it with Diamine Enchanted Ocean, fantastic combination. However, I felt like the shimmer was a little bit inconsistent throughout the month. Sometimes the sheen showed up more than the shimmer, but it was still a really, really good combination. No start issues, no dryness issues. It was a really good combination with the two of them. And it was really easy to clean out. So no issues with cleaning the shimmer out of that pen. Next is the Pelikan 140, and this pen is my only vintage pen at the moment, but I absolutely love it. It's got an extra fine nib, and it does have a bit of flex, and I put Diamine Mistletoe in there, and it was just the perfect Christmas combination. I loved this green with this pen. First of all, the two match, but also the flow, absolutely gorgeous. And then lastly, in my Cross Botanica Green Daylily with a fine nib, I had Ferris Wheel Press Blue Barrel Tonic. I don't necessarily know how I feel about this particular ink, but this pen actually showed off oh, Lucy just barked. Okay, so Ferris Wheel Press Blue Barrel Tonic is actually a really, really fun ink. It's not something I think I would ever buy a full bottle of, but it is fun to try a new shimmering ink every now and again. So my favorite combination really out of the whole month, I loved the Zayante Z2 with Red Dragon, but I also loved the Pelikan with the Diamond Mistletoe. So those are my 2 favorites. Coincidentally, they're the Christmas colors. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to this month. The first pen that I have here is one of my newest pens. It is my F3 Pens Model 3 in the Moonlit Rodden. I cannot stop looking at this. Isn't it gorgeous? The great thing about this pen is that it can take any Yovo number 6 nib, so I do have an architect nib or a fine cursive italic that I could put on here, but I'm going to keep the fine nib on it for the month of January. So let's figure this out. So I'm gonna just do big square, and I love this paper. This is the Tomoe River paper in the Galen Leather B6 notebook. And you can already tell this ink matches with this pen beautifully. I don't post this pen, so I just put the cap right there. This is the F3 pens, Model 3, in the Moonlit Rodden with a fine nib. And it currently has Ferris wheel press, it has blushing mushroom, so it's a purple with rose gold shimmer. I really like that, really pretty. And this is the pen that I'm going to be using in my journal for the month of January. So my A6 journal. I feel like I need to do like my little leaves. There we go. The next pen that I have is another new one. And this was one I wasn't too sure about to begin with. This is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Memento Zero Grande 2.0 in Angel Skin. Yeah, a lot to say. This was definitely a splurge pen, one that I never saw myself ever purchasing, but I'm glad that I did. My first impressions of this pen weren't actually great, but I am glad I gave it another chance, and now I love it. Here we go. So this is the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. I should have just written MZG 2.0 in Angel Skin. And now that I gotta move that little happy face here, it's got a 14 karat fine nib. And it currently has Teranishi Opera Rose, courtesy of Leanne Likes. Beautiful ink. Flows really well so far. Very smooth. And you guys know how I love like the dusty pink colors, and I think this one was a perfect match for this pen. The next pen is one that I haven't used in a while. I'm trying to do an even rotation with all of my pens, and then I accumulated quite a few in November and December, so some pens kind of got pushed back, but I do have a specific rotation that I put them all in so that there is an even use. So this is my Pelikan M400 in the white tortoise, and I purchased this as a birthday present for myself last year. So this was my girl pen at one point, and then I went ahead and purchased it, and so far I do love it. However, the M400 size may not be my most ideal size for longer writing sessions. I prefer the size of the M600 for longer writing sessions. So this has an extra fine nib, but it writes like a fine or even close to a medium. And in this, I needed something very exciting for the new year. This is actually Pelikan Edelstein Golden Barrel. Really fun and punchy for the new year. And also I wanted to use a Pelikan ink for the very first time. And I mean shimmer. Beautiful. Ah, love it. So that's my Pelikan M400 in the white tortoise. The next pen is it's the Angel Shop pen, and it is the Tiffany model that I purchased back in September at the Planners Gonna Plan conference. And this is a very inexpensive pen. but it looks so much more expensive than the $20 Canadian that I paid for it. So far, the inks that I've chosen match really well with the actual pen color, and I don't normally do that. I'm trying to think, do I do that for the rest of the pens? This is the Tiffany model. And I think they only have the fine nib. And in this one, what did I put in this one? Oh, that's awful. Oh, I remember. This is Diamine Steel Blue, and it is a perfect match for this pen body. This pen, for being as inexpensive as it is very smooth. While I haven't found a converter for it yet, I'm just cleaning out the cartridge and filling that. So I'll just quickly show you here. Yeah, I filled the cartridge. Really easy to clean. If you have a blunt tip syringe, you can basically flush all of the leftover ink in there and then fill it with that syringe as well. So very easy to do. But yeah, that is the Angel Shop Tiffany model with Diamine Steel Blue. Look at that, perfect match. Next up, we have my Lamy All-Star in Cosmic. This is the only Lamy I have left in my collection. And I'm saying that with kind of a caveat that I may possibly even sell this once I'm done using it for this month. I'm going through all of my pens and really trying to think of, you know, are these 10 out of 10 pens for me? And this currently has a 1.1 stub. Like, I love the look of the pen. It's very beautiful, but it's not the most comfortable to hold in my hand. I don't mind the grip section on here, but for me in general, I don't know, is this pen a 10 out of 10 for me? It currently has an ink that matches so well with the body. It's Ferris Wheel Press, Chidori, Cherry Blossom. And I love it with the stub nib. The Lamy was the first stub nib that I ever tried, and I do love that. But I also have the extra fine and fine nib should I ever decide to put that back on. But my feelings about this pen are, I think I'm going to use it again for this month, see how I feel, and if at the end of the month that it's still not for me, then I may sell and make room for other pens. The next pen in my currently inked lineup is one that I absolutely love. This is my Laban Rosa in Lilac. I don't post this, I actually don't really post any of my pens except for maybe the Sailor Pro Gear Slim and the Pelikan M400. This, see, that color does match. Didn't realize I went all matchy-matchy with all of my inks this month. Normally, the way that I pick my inks is looking at what stickers I'm going to decorate my planner with and then going from there, but I didn't even do that this month. So if it matches, great. It does have a medium nib on there, which I love the medium nib. And it is inked up with Colorverse, Alpha, PSC, or Pisces. And the combination is fantastic so far. I really like this green. I feel like it's a nice wintry green. Very nice so far. Oh, love this pen. Love this pen. It just fits so nicely in my hand. It's gorgeous, and it wrote so well for me when I used it, and I can't imagine ever giving this pen up. All right, and then the last pen, make sure I'm still in frame. The last pen is my Sailor Pro Gear in the White Rose Gold, and I was trying to remember the last time that I used this, and I think it was like September. It's been a while. I almost want to look back in my previous currently inked. And not in November, not in October. Yeah, it was September that I last used this. So because I had accumulated or acquired a whole bunch of new pens, this one was put on the back burner for a little bit, but I love this pen. I love the size of the Pro Gear versus the Pro Gear Slim. Look at that. Yeah, the size of the Pro Gear suits my hand better. I do like a bigger pen. So this is the Sailor Pro Gear in the white rose gold. And it has a medium fine nib. I love the nib on here. It's wetter, juicier. It is a 21 karat gold nib. Gorgeous. So I have Diamine. I have a few Diamine on here. Diamine, amazing amethyst. I love this purple. This purple, I was given this bottle of ink by Olga in our ink swap hosted by Simone a few months ago. Olga was so kind to give me a full bottle of the Pelikan Edelstein, but also a bottle of the Diamine Amazing Amethyst. And it's a gorgeous purple. Gorgeous, gorgeous purple. So there are all my fountain pens for the month of January. It's not a color palette that I usually go with, but I kind of went with my gut on this one, and I really like how it turned out. And all the pens currently match the inks, which I don't normally do. I normally let the stickers that I'm going to use in my planner, which I haven't chosen yet, I normally let that dictate what inks I'm going to use. But I'm really looking forward to using all of these in January. What are you guys using in the month of January? Let me know in the comments below. I also have a question about collections in general. How are you able to let go, or do you let go of pens that are no longer serving you or are no longer a 10 out of 10? And is that a process that's easy for you? Is that a process that you do regularly, or is it something that you do once a year? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.